Adventures with Don. Hey, in the last adventure, I explained that I was a fire lookout for the summer. But I don't think I mentioned I'm a relief fire lookout, which means I spend 2 days at one lookout, one of them being Lake Mountain, which was the last adventure, and the other one is at Bolivar Lookout, which is at the south end of the Scott Valley in Siskiyou County. Both in the National Forest, both great views. But I showed you Lake Mountain, so I might as well make an adventure out of Bolivar, the other lookout. Also great views. Try to get some night shots and see if we can make a good adventure out of it too. And give you another perspective of the looks from another lookout. So, I got most of the stuff loaded. Let's finish it up. And again, let's head to the Forest Service office, grab their pickup, and head up the road. Bolivar Fire Lookout in far northern California on the Klamath National Forest in Siskiyou County. It was originally built in 1933. Actually, there was another lookout that was on a taller peak directly to the southeast, but abandoned in 1925. I don't really say why, but I'm thinking I have an idea, which we'll get to. To build the lookout, they had to bring all the supplies up a pack mule trail. The trail goes to the west of the tower and now serves as an escape route in an emergency, because there's only one road up and back, and if that's blocked, they want you to hike down the old mule trail. The original ground level lookout was destroyed by wind in 1960. They then built a steel frame cab on top of a cement block building or foundation, which is what you see today. To build that, they made a road up to where the tower is now. So that was 1961. Before that, they only used the pack mule trail. In 1965, they had to replace the roof because it blew off. Starting to see a theme here. And actually, the inside of this tower, the cab part, was rebuilt this year. Well, in the spring, because one of the windows blew in, and they found 4 feet of snow inside the cab. Oh yeah, those solar panels on top, they're new also, because they blew off also during the winter. And I gotta tell you, spending the summer up here, it does get windy. The highest wind speed I had when I was in the tower was 66 miles an hour. The other lookout that worked here this summer had 77 mile an hour winds. So yeah, it does get windy up there. As you can see though, like most of the lookouts, the views are spectacular. I can see all the way to Mount Shasta to the east, Russian Mountains to the west, and to the north is Scott Valley. I think I remember in part 1 mentioning that one of the bonuses of working the lookout is sunrises and sunsets. Bolivar was no exception. What do you say we take a tour of Bolivar Lookout? First we'll look at downstairs with the refrigerator and water and radio stuff. Now, let's head up the grand staircase, up to the foyer. Here's a foyer. Sure, it's an outdoor foyer. And we have a nice wraparound porch. What do you say we go through the main entrance? Some might say the only entrance. Directly into the office area. Some maps and info. A couple of radios. And more maps. Maps and maps. Everything to help us try to find where a fire might be and tell them. Roll over into the kitchen. Why the water jug? Because that tank downstairs, which pumps out here, is non-potable water. They bring it up in a fire truck. I don't know what's inside their tanks, but I don't want to drink it. We have a nice heater. And the stove to complete the kitchen area. Walk over to my study. A lot of great contemplation going on there. And then slide into the bedroom. The back part of the office has the Osborne Firefinder. Point this towards any smoke we see. And then more maps. Try to figure out where that smoke is on a map. So we can relay it to dispatch, who's talking in the background, and get fire personnel there. And of course, tools of the trade, good old binoculars, and a spotting scope. They had to rebuild the inside of this year because last year one of the shutters came off, window blew in, and they found 4 feet of snow on the inside. Apparently kind of destroyed things. And what about that chair? That's our lightning chair. As you can tell, it's got glass insulators on the bottom. So to protect us during a lightning storm, I'm supposed to move that away from all metal and radios and sit on it. That way, if lightning hits, you're insulated from the electrical charge. Of course, just recapping: metal stove, metal heater, metal sink, metal fire finder, and radios and electrical connections. So maybe sit it over here somewhere? Of course, this whole building is metal. So I don't know what to say about that. And there's the maid's quarters. Well, let's take a walk around porch. Look at some of our views. Looking to the east, there's Mount Shasta. Gazelle Mountain area, which goes over to, go figure, Gazelle, and into Wairika. And here's Scott Valley. Be the south end of Scott Valley, looking north. Callahan's a little community right at the bottom. As we pan around, there's some of the Scott Mountains, Scott Bar Mountains. And that'll be looking over to Etna Summit, and on the other side of that is the Marble Mountains. Keep panning. And that range there will, on the other side of it, will be the Salmon River area. And as you can see, got a lot of burned area. Fire came through here 2 years ago, maybe 3, I don't remember. But burned a lot of stuff. And those mountains, Eagle Peak, by the way, is right over there. And I believe that ridge line is the difference between Siskiyou County and Trinity County. At the very least, it's the border between Trinity Shasta Forest and the Klamath National Forest. More burned trees. And there you have it. Nice little tiny home. A lot of windows to look out of. Cozy. Hope you enjoyed it. I'm always asked, have you been up in the tower during a lightning storm? Well, the answer is yes, a couple times. Which is when this photo was taken. But luckily, the lightning stayed in the clouds. And if you know me, you know I love night photography. So I thought I'd take you through some steps of what I do to set up for a night photo. Well, tonight I'm going to try a Star Trails photo up here at Bolivar. The The idea is to get stars trailing over the top of the lookout. The good thing is I'll be looking directly west. So if you look closely at the final photo, provided it turns out, some of the stars will be arcing to the left and some will be arcing to the right. Some phenomena because you're looking right down the west. So hopefully that's what will happen. I've tried this once before up here, but unfortunately there was a bunch of smoke in the air. The photo turned out okay, but there was a low-lying layer of smoke, and it made the picture not turn out so good. It looked like the stars were falling into the abyss for no apparent reason. It's just like they disappeared, even though there was not down to the ground level. So we're gonna retry that, considering it's clear skies tonight. And really weird, there's no wind. So hopefully that'll remain and we can get the photo taken care of and it'll look a lot better. Time will tell. Well, here's a look at our setup. Hopefully that sun isn't going to ruin everything. Let's go over here. I set up the camera ahead of time instead of trying to do it in the dark. Set up the composition so that we have the tower in it and the sky well above it, so we can capture the stars. I figure out the composition with the focal range and the aperture, and then once I do that, I don't know if this will show it, but I tape that in place. That way I don't accidentally hit the focus ring or the aperture and change things that I didn't want to do, and then have to try to recreate it in the dark. And then on the top is my intervalometer, which I affectionately call the Pluto trigger because it's made by Pluto. And from there I can set the shutter speed to be as long as I want and as many shots as I want. And that way I can sit up in the tower, make the camera go, wait for it all to get done, and then come down and turn off the camera. And what I'll do is I'll do several shots first, trying to light up the tower itself a little bit, give it a little bit of depth, and a light on the inside so it looks like it's not an abandoned building. And then the star trails, probably like 2-minute long photos, and I'll do a bunch of them. And then later put all that together in Photoshop, and it should turn out to be a great photo. Here's another look at the setup from the lookout tower. I don't know if you can see Mount Shasta in the background there. Definitely have to bring some light with me because I don't want to walk off the edge of those rocks there. But that's the camera looking at the tower. Well, here's the end result. I think it turned out pretty good, just like I was hoping. And hey, I didn't fall off the rocks. As an added bonus, the annular eclipse happened while I was at Bolivar. No, it wasn't a full eclipse, but this is as close as I could get. Fire lookout season is coming to an end. So I'll be saying goodbye to Bolivar and Lake Mountain. I hope you enjoyed the adventure. I had a fun summer doing it. Thanks for watching.